We on?
We are.
We're live. BFL Show Week 3.
Special guest, defending champ, Andrew McNaughton. Say what's up,
The champ
Drew.
is here. The champ is here. Cadillac crew. All hail.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Drew?
Glad to be here.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
I want to say it's great to see you guys. This was a wonderful week, but this was the week from hell. Let's start with these two dudes. Maybe high five each other that they're not on our teams.
Yeah. Number 1 and 2 in most drafts, but didn't Zeke go number 2 in our draft?
Dom threw a monkey wrench in and went Zeke. So played.
Looking like a genius move. Absolutely brutal. It's just like anybody who was watching, we were texting about it. Anybody who was watching the games on Sunday, it was just one player after the other. At least McCaffrey looks like he'll be back in a few weeks. Saquon, it was not going to be a good year for New York anyways. Their offensive line is a mess. Hopefully he can come back stronger than ever next year. What a talent.
Mike, I heard you say you're never going to draft Saquon again. Is this true?
That's very true. You can I'll draft him in the second round. How about that? Somebody.
There you go.
I'm not going to take him at the top of a draft anymore. 2 years in a row I've been an owner. 2 years in a row it hasn't worked out.
And speaking of the bloodbath, here's just kind of a sad picture of who else is injured.
Oh, that's good work. You did that?
No, I did not do that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Yeah, Anthony Barr is a big one.
Who's right under Montgomery?
Is that Drew Lock?
Drew Lock, yeah.
No, to the left of Lock.
Sterling Shepard, I believe.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
And is this I guess we're just going through the picture, like where's Waldo? The Rams guy broke his finger, right? Is that Malcolm Brown? But anyway. Mostert.
Yep.
Sorry, Seth.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. All right.
Solomon Thomas tore his ACL too, didn't he?
Solomon Thomas out as well. Moving forward, fellas. Lost a good one today. Gale Sayers, rest in peace. Kansas Comet. 5 years of untouchableness. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you only play 5 years and you make the Hall of Fame, that was just – it's too bad his career was cut short. And 22 touchdowns in a 12-game season, how about that?
Sick.
That's incredible.
I brought up as soon as I found out, I brought up the highlight of when he scored 6 touchdowns. That was who was it against, but
I want to say it was against the 49ers at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
And it was super muddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get on some positive notes. Name this Rockford Lutheran superstar.
James Robinson.
James Robinson. You getting a lot of inquiries about a trade for him, Drew?
A couple.
I actually ventured out a little question, in which I just a tickle. I haven't pursued any farther, but good to hear you're getting more than one or two. Okay.
I'll be sending Drew a trade offer here after this is over, but for somebody else. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a couple other players that I really like on Drew's team, but unfortunately, I'm not going to talk about the one I really like because we only got 5 votes on the.
Oh no!
I'll make you a deal. I'll talk about my passing strategy.
Maybe we can get to that. Maybe we can get forward to that. But I was obviously playing against Drew this week. I was scoreboard watching. That stat tracker is good. Can I make a confession to you guys? This was the first time I've ever used NFL Red Zone on TV.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I've never experienced it before this week, so that was quite an experience as well.
When your team's not playing, it's like the best thing to have on.
Okay.
So like this Sunday is going to be awesome for me because the Packers don't play till nighttime. So I'll have like all those noon games going, and it's just fast and furious. It's amazing.
I really liked it too. The funny thing about James Robinson is like I knew about him when he was in high school, but kind of like I was like, oh, he's not that fast and he's not that big. And that's kind of like how he is now in the NFL too. he's not that fast. He's not that big, but he just produces. So
He looks pretty cut in that picture.
yeah,
I wouldn't want.
exactly. Because sometimes with running backs, especially like high school running backs, if they're like developed, if they're become men a little bit before everybody else, they dominate, and then everybody catches up. But obviously, we haven't caught up yet.
I was gonna say, look at the beanpole in the picture behind him.
Nice. I believe that's a Byron Tiger.
He started from his freshman year all the way to all of high school.
Yeah, doesn't he have like the record for career yardage?
Yeah,
I believe so in Illinois. All right,
yeah.
pushing forw't, this guy.
Awesome. I had you put a picture of this guy on. What a stud! Oh, geez, just a. How do you feel about your projection of 7 touchdowns for Aaron Jones there, John?
I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the Packers yet.
He has 4. He has 4. Yeah, $168 on the ground, 68 through the air, 3 touchdowns last week. Amazing game. Just one of those guys. I'm not a big fan of paying the running backs, but this guy's making it impossible not for the Packers to not bring him back and to not sign him. I think they'd be foolish to not give him some money at this point. What a stud.
I would dial that back from the 20 that you're at to more like a 12 because, I mean, he ripped up Detroit and then the JV team that the Minnesota Vikings are. So let's see him again. Let's see what he does this week at New Orleans, and then.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Okay, fellas, here's my question. So speaking of Aaron Jones, he's in this conversation. If you were drafting for a new league today and you had the number 1 overall pick, who are you taking? Because obviously CMC is not going to be the pick. Saquon's not the pick. Who are you taking?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. I think, wow, probably Alvin Kamara.
Are we talking this league or just open availability?
Whoever, I don't know, whatever you want.
Yeah,
if this league was restarting, sure. If this league was restarting and we know what we know, like we didn't draft until this week.
Zeke, I guess.
There you go. Okay, so we got a Zeke and a Kamara. That's good. So that was a good question.
I was going to say Cam, just out of spite.
I like it. Well done. Mahomes, Lamar, they're in the conversation too. All right. Okay, before we get to that, here's my trivia question. I heard this. Drew Brees is since like 2003, I want to say, Drew Brees is the all-time leading passing yardage quarterback on Monday Night Football. Who's number 2 on Monday Night Football?
On Monday Night Football.
Second most yards behind Drew Brees on Monday Night Football since 2003.
The obvious choice would be Brady.
Nope. Want to take a guess, Drew?
Manning?
The correct answer is Kirk Cousins. Shock me off.
Mister can't get a win on Monday night.
For some reason, the Redskins are on Monday night a lot.
But isn't he like 0 for his career on Monday night though? Like
15 or something.
Win-loss?
He has a ton of yardage. That's all I know. All right, let's keep going here.
Good question.
Here's our standings. Here's how it looks.
3-2-0, 3-0-2, 6-1-1.
It's kind of crazy because if you think of the 0-2 teams, we've got Brigadier's Brigade and Nate, who were kind of projected to be in the top 3 or 4. And then we also have Drew, who is the defending champion. So up is down and down is up.
Yeah, look at Drew's points against, though. 1,100. Brutal. But Dirtball's 0-2 is big for me personally, especially. But yeah, I just noticed like there's there are 5 teams over 1,000 points scored, and 3 of them are in your division, John. That's crazy. Philly's right there too, but oh man, there hasn't been too many like tight matchups so far, except for, believe it or not, Dirtballs, who almost overcame having to play Russell Wilson and Aaron Jones this week. That was yikes. And Kamara almost brought him back. You got a little tense there with the garbage time. It almost happened. That would have been an unbelievable comeback.
Yeah.
But Withers pulled that out.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that about the points against, because to me, like, that's an identifying factor of, is it real or is it, not real. Usually it
Yeah.
balances out, but I mean, Drew's an outlier here. I ran it up last week. So he's gotten obviously the toughest matchup so far this year, and then Nate over 1,002 points against. So I mean, that tells me those teams could still have life if they, stick with it and stick with the plan.
Yeah.
All right, should I push it forward?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so here, just real quick, here was the results of the coaches poll after five votes. I'm shocked to be where I am.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of
think-
fun having balls first up there with some first place votes, obviously. So there's some excitement there. Here we go. I appreciate the voters.
I still think dirt balls should be higher. I think Seth maybe a little bit, even though he's got a few injuries now. But Withers is really dependent on a few guys. Same for you. You don't have like a deep bench. One or two injuries could just be like brutal to those teams. So but everybody gets to vote the way they feel.
For sure.
I put Brigadiers down pretty low. He's got to be so disappointed with his guys. Like he's got no production to like really speak of. He hasn't had one guy go crazy, but if you look at his team, that's kind of how they are. They're built on consistency, and it's just, oh man, what a rough start. But really early in the season. So
yeah, I'm kind of working on a formula, and I feel like this year, it's heavily like towards quarterbacks who can win you a week, and so I think I've got something in Kyler Murray. So I'm not gonna be. I think I'll be middle of the pack more than like bottom third, and with chances to go. I think Dom crushed it with Josh Allen.
sure did.
I think if Drew wants to, he can bump himself up with, just having Mahomes is such an advantage. So
Yeah.
And that's where your team's a little bit interesting, Mike, with relying on Carson Wentz and the Eagles, and to see how that's going to work out, or Jared Goff.
Yeah, it's going to be like every other week unless I make a move or something here. We'll see how it goes.
For sure. All right, here we go. This week, what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, let's just go in order. You got you and Nate battling it out for early season, relevance. Yahoo projections really close, 18 points. Go ahead.
I had a lot higher projected with Kittle in my lineup.
Yeah.
I don't think he should play, and if he does, I don't know if he's going to be that great with Nick Mullins at quarterback instead of Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Then Jonnu Smith went and got a questionable tag just today, so I have to do some research and see what's going on with that. Miles Jack is playing 100% better than I thought he was. He switched to back to outside linebacker this year, and he's around the ball a lot more than he was playing Mike backer. Nate's always good. Nate's going to be awesome. It's going to be tough for me to watch Matt Ryan against the Bears, knowing that when he throws touchdowns, it not only kills the Bears, it kills me too. So that just have me in your thoughts on Sunday.
It could be this, me watching Kamara. I'll be rooting for you this week. I really need him to keep struggling and build that division lead. Let's see. So some highlights I got highlighted here. I got to give you a little credit. The Jonathan Taylor pick is looking better all the time. Not that I was rooting against the guy, certainly not, but I didn't see it paying off quite this early in the season with the injury to Mac. And I think their key to success there is going to be run and play defense. And if he's going to get 20, 25 touches a game, he's going to be a great, great pick.
Yeah, again, it came against the JV Vikings, so I'm not sure if he's completely legit, but yeah, I thought he would overtake Mac by talent, but then Marlon Mack's injury thing happened, and so here he is.
You got to play the teams that are on your schedule. I don't blame a guy for playing against one team. You got to play the teams on your schedule. For you, I had AJ Green as a potential guy. Him and Burrow are so close. They have extra couple days to get ready. I think AJ Green breaks out this week, finally gets in the end zone for you. Big question mark was Zach Moss. Did not practice today. Don't know if you saw that or not. So that could be a spot you have to fill. And I was looking at the guys on your bench. There's not a lot of tasty choices, but I thought maybe Laviska Shenault might get the nod. I think there's some points to be had there in that game. Maybe a boomer bust type of play.
I don't have a spot for him. He's a receiver.
If Moss, he's only wide receiver?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he had running back eligibility.
I know.
Oh, that's booty. All right. Anyways, and then with Nate, I think it stops and starts with Kamara. He's a huge player. I got Fournette down too, looking like he might start to get take carries away from Jones. Bruce Arians has been saying Ronald Jones, but Fournette obviously has been the better player, and that big run to seal it was just and he's a better receiver, I think too, which I honestly didn't really know that much. Didn't know because who watches the Jaguars, but I honestly didn't know he was quite the accomplished receiver. One thing I noticed in Nate's team, he has Zach Bond still. Credit to you for sticking with the Badger. We love Zach Bond, but he hasn't seen the field yet. He has 0 points through 2 weeks. Get somebody that's going to score. Come on. What are you doing, Nate?
All right, let's keep it moving here. Keep it rolling because I don't know how much time we're having. Balls first in the Blizzard. I don't know if Ben's getting credit for how good his team he has.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to your matchup to see what happens here.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking up and down his team, and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good. Like one guy I really had, he got Deontay Johnson pretty late in the keep around, and he's looking good for the Steelers. If Juju again is questionable and he overrated anyways, but I really like Deontay Johnson there. It could come down if it's such a close matchup. We both have guys going Monday night.
Nice.
Travis Kelce for me, Mark Ingram for him. Could come down to the Monday night game. That could be exciting. He's got Dalvin Cook, who I really think the Vikings have to go all out this week, and their path to victory is feed Dalvin Cook. And it's just I don't see any other way that that he's got to touch the ball 20 to 25 times. And then I put a sad face next to James White because he obviously still isn't practicing with that horrible tragedy. Hope his mom – I haven't heard any more about it, but hope his mom is okay, and so sad about his dad. And with me, Carson Wentz, I'm not excited about it, but if they have any pride in Philly, he's got to break out this week, right? Hopefully, maybe. I don't care how many times you turn it over. Just score a few touchdowns. Come on.
He doesn't have any good receivers. I think that's his problem. I think he's a good player.
It's true.
Lost Rieger, didn't it?
Lost
He
Rieger.
is a good player, but he's regressed. And then I need Derrick Henry or Amari Cooper to score a touchdown finally this week. One of them's got to, right? And then I'm sad about Cortland Sutton going down. Made the trade before the season and didn't even get to start him, and now he's out for the year. So that stinks. But very close matchup, could come down to Monday night.
Yeah, these are a couple good matchups to kick things off. Hey, and then in the next one, we got 0-2 Drew, who's favored against Phil. Lamar Jackson against Patrick Mahomes. This is awesome.
It is awesome. The fact that those two dudes are playing in real life, I think it's going to be the highest rated Monday night game of all time. I do. Who's not going to watch that game if you're a football fan? That's the game you're circling, right? That's the game you're looking forward to. So, calling that. Poor Cam Newton. What's he got to do to crack the starting lineup? I know it's Mahomes, but he's outscored him in both games so far. He's scored 200 points in 2 weeks.
Nah, that's just golden depth. I wouldn't even trade him. I'd wait till Mahomes blows out his kneecap again doing a quarterback sneak and got Cam in the bag.
And also, why is Antonio Brown still on your roster? Can you answer that?
Week 8.
Week 8.
Week 9. I'm sorry.
Right. Tyler Boyd.
That's such a deep bench. I might as well, right?
Oh, for sure.
Tyler Boyd is questionable for Phil. maybe, or no, I had like him as somebody you may start over Ronald Jones, not questionable. Like maybe you start Tyler Boyd over Ronald Jones. And what a big game Tyler Higbee had last week. I think they're going to be a tough game against Buffalo, but I think they're obviously going to have some chances down in the red zone. And who better to throw to than Higbee? So I can see Higbee scoring another touchdown or two this week. If you put the over-under on 1.5 touchdowns for Higbee, I might take the over.
Crazy. Should do that bet.
No
Drew,
Milano, no Edmonds for the Bills.
Drew, are you selling 100%, or could anybody make an offer to you to have you be buying and trying to throw back your hat back into the push?
Good question.
Good question.
I need to be blown away by the offer.
Okay.
To sell at 0-2.
Because the book is out. The book is out on you. You sit back and collect resources for a couple of seasons. I don't know how you have that kind of patience, and then you make a big push for a season. This is an off year for you, so maybe you could take everyone by surprise and go for the win this year.
Oh no, I'm still trying. I just, putting it out there.
Putting it out there. I hear you.
Well, I'll take some offers.
Fantastic. All right, moving on to the next matchup. I posted this on the text line, but I want you to know that every time he made a play the other night, when Darren Waller made a play, I said to myself, I hear White Thunder. So that is in my brain now. Kyle has a chance to knock off Seth here. We'll see how Seth responds. I don't know anything about Devontae Adams, other than they said his hamstring situation was mild, and he probably could have gone back in the game if they needed him. But here, looking at Green Bay's schedule, I believe, do they have a week 5 or 6 bye?
Yeah, they do have an early bye. Yes.
He has a serious hamstring situation. It's not the worst idea in the world, especially with the 2-0 start, to sit him through the bye.
I agree 100%. And Green Bay typically is very cautious with their guys, bringing them back. But I think this is one of those games where if you can go and beat the Saints and get to 3-0, you're gonna try everything you can to have that. That really means they're serious contenders. But yeah, it's way too early in the season to risk your only legitimate go get them wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play. But
it's a tough vote too, since it's a night game. I have Devontae Adams in one of my leagues, and it's a tough play because you got to hear earlier in the day so you can get a replacement in.
Right.
And then Kyle's a threat here this week. He's got some decent weapons, and he's no pushover. Even though he's getting 12 plates votes, but he's no pushover.
I love that he's going with Joe Burrow this week. Why not? They're going to let the rookie throw. Deshaun, a tough matchup, really tough start to the season for the Texans. Could be one of those guys that really, comes back to the mean, what we're used to seeing from him, maybe middle of the season. But for this week, I think it was the right move. Go with Joe Burrow. But yeah, Mostert out for Seth. Devontae Adams questionable, but he is getting Kenny Galladay back this week. Really sounds like he practiced and he's on track to come back. So I that should help out too.
Yeah, when Seth has Adams and Galladay full strength, that's a problem. So
that's formidable.
That's a formidable team, especially with a motivated Rodgers. All right, let's kick it down to Dom against Withers Winners. Someone is going to leave this match with a loss, unless they tie. But that one.
That would be highly unlikely. Yeah. Did you see Dom's starting lineup? He has 2 Atlanta Falcons wide receivers in there. He has Calvin Ridley and Gage. That's, Ridley's been putting up huge numbers so far. And then Ryan has Julio. But Julio also didn't practice. That's not unusual for him, though. But he really played through some pain last week. Off to an 0-2 start. Do they hold him out?
All 3 of those guys are about to be locked down by Chicago. So,
yeah,
it's going to be a low-scoring matchup here.
For Dom, Austin Eckler is actually turning into one of my favorite players. Nobody really talks about him, but I really feel like he's one of the 10 or 12 best running backs in the league. He breaks a lot of tackles. He catches well. If you see him, not in pads and stuff, the guy is just – he's a unit. And what does Nick Chubb have to do to crack the lineup? I know he's got we talk about the donkey dick running backs, but Chubb is on his bench right now. He had a huge week last week, got a pretty good matchup this week. I don't know. Julio, questionable, but he has Russell Wilson. Ryan Withers has Russell Wilson. He has Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones probably going to touch the ball a lot, especially if Adams is not 100%. I think as Coach used to say on College Game Day when he's picking, closer than the experts think. But nice. I got down by a field goal.
Nice. All right. We got about 8 minutes here on our clock here, so let's kind of push a little bit. Last matchup, Brigadiers Brigade against Mustache You a Question.
Sure.
Goody got rocked by injuries, and just Tom Brady's not performing the way he wants him to. Gronk is a shadow of his former self, and speaking of being disappointed with his team, I mean, Brian, holy cow, Brigadiers Brigade, that's a team that I had kind of contending for a championship, and he does not want to go 0-3. So fascinating matchup here.
Yeah. Julian Edelman played out of his mind Sunday night, but so he's, one of those guys maybe could be a trade piece for Mustache. CMC, when he comes back, if he can manage to win a couple games and wait until he comes back, he'll have a chance to salvage the season. But now I guess Josh Jacobs did not practice today either. That sucks. So he'll probably play, but he was getting a lot of attention during the Monday Nighter, and now he's not practicing. For Brigadiers, tough matchup choices. He's got Kareem Hunt, Odell Beckham, Antonio Gibson all on the bench. Those guys were all contributors for their teams last week. So he's going to have some tough questions. But, yeah, this has got to be a must-win for him.
Right on. All right. You guys want to say anything else about fantasy?
I have all kinds of fantasies. Nothing I care to talk about.
Just one.
To pass like Drew and Madden.
There you go.
All right. You gonna run through these matchups quick?
Sure. 7 minutes.
All right. Dolphins at Jags. No Byron Jones. Xavier Howard is questionable. Jags are missing their starting center, starting kicker. Jags are at home -3. What do you think?
Going to be some. I'm not intrigued by this game whatsoever. There's good facial hair by the quarterbacks.
All right, I would take Jags and give the points.
My answer is Laviska Shenault is my.
All right.
I wish I could.
Bears at Falcons. Falcons at home -3. Bears are pretty healthy. Falcons, it's Julio, but that's always Julio.
So, if the Bears can put up points, I think they'll be okay because I think they can slow down Atlanta. I think Atlanta's one-dimensional. Sorry, but I'm not a Todd Gurley guy. Trubisky's got to throw the ball to the open man, and that's about it. So.
Okay. So your Bears +3?
Sure.
All right, I'll take Falcons. Rams on the road at Bills. Bills are -2, which not a lot for a Bills team. This looked pretty good. But they are maybe Tremaine Edmonds and Milano maybe come back this week, but they're both still battling stuff. Cam Akers is out for the Rams most likely. I like what the Rams are doing. Bills are tough. If the crowd was there, I think I'd go Bills, but I think I'd take Rams +2.
This game's in Buffalo?
I think they're more balanced.
Buffalo's going to crush them.
Okay. Let's bet on it.
2 scores.
Let's bet.
I'm good.
All right. Washington at Cleveland.
Next set. Drew has the next set for me. I'm tagging out.
Washington at Cleveland. Cleveland's going to get their right tackle, Jack Conklin, back. Washington's missing their wide receiver / kick returner, Steven Sims. Browns at home, -7. Seems like a touchdown for the Browns. I don't trust Baker Mayfield enough. Washington's actually playing halfway decent ball for a few quarters. Baker will make mistakes, so I think I'd take Washington. Pick one, Drew. Who would you take?
Browns.
Browns -7. All right.
I don't know about the gambling.
All right.
I don't know any of the odds. I just
Basically, it's just like if they're -7, if they win by 8, then they win. But if they win by less than 7, you lose. So they can still win the game, but you still lose. You have to take that number of points off the final score.
Also, basically, if I pick the Browns, I'm saying they're going to win by more than 7.
Yep.
Done.
All right. Titans at the Vikings. I know you feel strongly about the Vikings being terrible, John. They've looked pretty bad. What an awful game by Kirk Cousins, but also really good defense by the Colts. A.J. Brown did not practice again for the Titans. That's looking like he's not going to play. Vikings may be down to their third linebacker to cover for Anthony Barr, who's Hardy Nickerson. You may remember that name from the Buccaneers fame in the 90s. His son, I believe.
I thought Hardy.
Vikings +2.5. Titans, big time.
For sure.
I think the Vikings have a path to victory. Again, limit Derrick Henry and run the ball out with Dalvin Cook, but 2.5 isn't enough for me.
Titans.
Raiders at Pats. Pats -6. Maybe no David Andrews, the center. That might be big. Raiders looking good. Everybody's on the Cam Newton train.
I got the Patriots at home. I don't like the cross-country trips.
Okay. Yeah, with Jacobs being questionable, Raiders coming off a short week and an emotional win there. Yeah, I think I would go with Patriots as well.
Me too.
49ers and their rash of injuries stay in New York to play on the same field against the Giants. 49ers are complaining about the field conditions. Giants are +4. Even with a backup quarterback, still not enough. I think the 49ers win by more than 4.
So most of the time, if a team has, like a West Coast team has 2 games in a row on the East Coast, they can stay over. But because of COVID, they made them fly all the way back, and then they have to fly back again. But I'm still taking the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. Bengals at the Eagles. Eagles are -5.5.
We got less than a minute.
Eagles are so terrible. All right. All right. Then go game of the year. Chiefs, Ravens. Ravens -3.5. What do you guys got?
Ravens.
I'm going to say the Ravens too.
I would go Chiefs. I think they were looking ahead. I think this is the game that they want. They want to prove that Mahomes is best. Everybody's on the Lamar Jackson train. I got the Chiefs in this one.
We did it.
Thanks for joining, Drew.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Mike, bye.
Bye.
I stopped sharing. It's still recording, I think.
It is.
Ending meeting.